Hi, my name is ELIZABETH KJ Umoru. I'm from Kogi State, Nigeria, and I'm a spoken word artist. For the longest period in my life, I thought I would be a dancer, but well, I still dance behind the curtains, but now I'm professionally a spoken word artist. Poetry for me started as a tool for empathy. It was just the way I thought to empathize with someone or with a certain situation. I remember in SS2 or 3 thereabouts, I had read Boy on a Swing by Oswald Mishali. I had also read Strange Meeting by Wilfred Owen, and I saw how people were able to empathize with a particular situation using poetry. So I remember wanting to use poetry as a tool to empathize with widows in Nigeria, and just there from there kept moving. Of course, at some point it became about love and heartbreak, but here we are now. My poems are inspired by empathy, really wanting to empathize with a situation like I said earlier, and one of the things that has driven that is conversations, being in rooms where people are talking about certain issues. Sometimes it even comes like humor, being in a public vehicle where people are having conversations about a rape story or about one certain ashawo or something like that, and it drives my creative process. When I'm trying to write, I remember the way the conversation happened, and it helps me tell the story better. One of the biggest challenge I face as a spoken word artist is having to memorize my poems before a performance. Well, not just before a performance, when I'm shooting and I need to memorize it so that, of course, sometimes I pre-record before I shoot, but of course you'll be concerned about lip syncing it, so the poem has to still be in your head somehow. Having to memorize is one of my biggest struggles as a spoken word artist. And then another one is getting people to understand that there are different kinds of poets. The way we have different kinds of music, we have different kinds of musicians singing different kinds of songs. There's Afro, there's blues, there's jazz, and all of that. We have different kinds of poets. So some poets are heavy on wordplays, others are heavier on metaphors. So getting people to understand that poetry actually comes in different forms, doesn't always have to be. It can be subtle, it can be reflectional, it can make you excited, and that depends on the poet, right? It's just a struggle, because most of the times people want you to sound a certain kind of way, but really, I try. Preparing for a live performance, rehearsals, really, always rehearsing. Sometimes I walk on the street and it feels like I'm talking to myself, but I'm just rehearsing, and I'm trying to rehearse amidst the chaos that happens on the road or on the streets per se. So rehearsals. And for rituals, before I go up stage, I try to tell myself that you are excited doing the job you love. It's a good thing that you can be stressed about the job you love, and somehow it makes me able to go on stage and do it like something I love. So I don't necessarily have to look into people's eyes and be like, oh, I'm performing before a lot of people and be scared. I just see it as I'm just doing something I love. Yeah, there are people watching me, but I'm not necessarily looking at them right now. I'm just focused on what I love doing. I like to say that connecting with your audience is also in the power of rehearsals. However you are going to connect with your audience depends on how much you are able to rehearse. If you rehearse the poem enough to the point where you're not thinking about the next line before it's jumping out of your lips, you'd be in the performance to the point where the audience will feel that you are in this character and you are in this thing. So connecting with my audience for me happens in the place of rehearsals, not necessarily on the stage. My experience before the production, my whole thought was, who sent you? Who sent you? Who sent you to do this now? Because it looks like it was going to be so much to pull off. But the only thing I was confident about was in the fact that we had rehearsed it and rehearsed, and even on stage at some point it felt like we're rehearsing again. That was the kind of ease that I felt on stage. And then after the production, I've been so happy that I did it. I've been so happy I'm still trying to get out of the Abigail character in my real life. My character was Abigail, and Abigail is the woman, or the Nigerian per se, that wants to be there for the good times, wants to enjoy everything that is to enjoy. Even though the things that led to the good times are not exactly good things, still wants to be there. But when the consequences come, Abigail wants to chicken out. So I hoped to express the realities of the everyday Nigerian, where we know that what the government is doing is not exactly fair, but as long as it favors us, we want to keep quiet. But when it doesn't favor us, that's when we want to start talking and protesting and speaking against it. So Abigail is typically the random Nigerian that thinks they will do better just because they're not on the enjoying side. I think Barry Olodo should be answering this question because he directed the production, every single part of it. He directed it, from the music to everything. He directed it. I was just there and willing to obey instructions, right? So yeah. I received compliments, appraisals, I'm proud of yous. But above all, I got honest feedbacks, really. Some people told us, okay, I think this worked, I think this didn't exactly work. And it was so beautiful and it was wholesome to get all of those statements, everything people had to say about it. And it has made me so confident. Right now, I feel like if you put me on any set, I'm gonna kill it. If I'm going to do another production, it has motivated me to put in the work. If I'm going to do another production, I'm going to put in the work. And then it has also opened my eyes to the power of rehearsals, because God, we rehearsed. We had a lot of rehearsals, and that was why we're able to have that much confidence and ease on stage. Well, 3 words for you. Watch this space. So I would say that whatever your art is to you, it can be the same thing to the world. If you think your art is funny, then of course it can make people laugh. I'm not asking you to be delusional, of course. you eventually try it out, but don't be afraid to create. Try it, experiment, and just see that whatever it actually is to you, it can be the same thing to people too. On Facebook and LinkedIn, I am Elizabeth KJ Umoru. On Instagram and TikTok, I am _Elizabeth.kj. And on Medium, I'm Elizabeth Umoru. Thank you.